How do you have God on your stream while you're talking about so many different women? How is that godlike? How do you expect, let's say that you do that. Let's say somebody gets your lifestyle, okay? And you get your 20 women up to your 25, 26, 27 years old. How are you just going to flip that off and then go and find one woman when that's what you've been putting out in the world?
Because women could fall in, women don't care. You could have 20 women. Like,
you don't think women care? The type of woman that, do you know which type of women don't care? It's the same type of women that you make fun of. It's going to be the Kim Kardashian clones. They're going to be the ones that don't care.
That's not true.
You think you think that you can go from having 20 women through your 20s, and then at 26, 27, you're going to find like a woman that is spiritual, that is looking for the same things in life that you are going to claim?
20 spiritual women.
What does that mean?
20 spiritual women.
How are you going to have 20 spiritual women?
Collect them like Pokemon.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you want to meme, I mean, at least you admit you're wrong. Okay.
Yeah, that's what men need to do. Men need to keep providing. That's what makes men happy.
That doesn't make you a provider. How do you think you're going to be able to provide romantically for a woman when you're 28 if you've been sleeping around and fucking around for your entire 20s? You're not even going to know what a healthy relationship looks like.
Once you fuck a lot of women, you understand how they work and you get better with them.
No, when you fuck a lot of women, you understand how to fuck women. That's the only thing you get. You don't know how to love a woman. You don't.
I 100% agree with him. Like, if all you're doing is sleeping with women, you're not going to understand how to navigate a relationship properly. How could you? You're just seeing women as meat suits, essentially, to satisfy your urges.
So is this him basically talking about the fact that, like, of never having a relationship up until a late age in your 20s?
So SNEAKO is saying that he is going to sleep around with as many women as he wants, hundreds of women, but then he's going to find this good church girl with like church morals and like very innocent entertainment. I don't know, unless she is so young and impressionable that she has no idea what's going on, like an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Which I don't think. He's 28 now. I think is past the point of getting with an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
You're not going to find a woman that is going to accept that. I don't think anyway. This works in a similar capacity for men. Maybe not to the same extent as it does for women, but I don't think you're going to be able to find a woman that you want. You're going to find the same women that you've been sleeping with. That's what you've surrounded yourself with.
Okay, so is it the concept of, because he's never been in a relationship and known what it's like, he's not going to know what's the right woman to go for?
He's not going to know how to treat the right woman. He's going to.
How does that play into the type of woman he's going to get? Because what good women ain't going to stick around? Is it that?
Yeah, essentially, he's saying that he wants 20 women. I think he's probably joking, but he's essentially saying that he wants a good church girl. And the white guy, Destiny, is saying to him that you're not going to understand how to keep a girl like that if all you've done is mess about with women.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that, and I understand that, because you're not going to know what you're doing. It's like if somebody put you in a kitchen and said, cook a pizza. You've never cooked a pizza before. You've only eaten them. You're not going to know how to cook that pizza.
Your analogies kill me.
But it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get it, and I agree. But that guy seems very, very childish for 28 anyway.
You should talk to women. The kind of women that you want when you're 27, you should start talking to them now, because they don't want to touch somebody like you with a fucking 10-foot pole. They would not want anything to do with you. If you go into a church, and you start talking to women in their late 20s and you say, what kind of a man are you looking for? They're not going to say, I want a man who could have fucked and gotten 100 bitches pregnant. That's the kind of man I want to take care of me.
Women don't know what they want from a man. They don't know what to say. They just don't understand men inherently.
And you think you have the answer to that? You think at 23 you figured out what women want?
Yeah.
What's the longest relationship you've been in? 2 years. For a year. Okay, so you've been in one or maybe two relationships in your life. How do you think you already know what women want?
I've been in maybe like 20 relationships.
Not real relationships. You're 23. You couldn't have been in.
Okay, I'm gonna stop there.
Do you know what you want?
Absolutely. I could name a whole list right now, and I think pretty much every woman knows what she wants.
I do agree that a lot of women don't know what they want, but I also think that he doesn't know what he wants. Well, I think it's the same with men. A lot of men don't know what they want. I find it silly when young people say they know what they want, personally. Because your character, his age, 23, that's very young. You're going to go through so many experiences that are going to change you as a person. Like, I've changed a lot from when I was 20 to now when I'm 30. So to say you know what you want at 23, that's a bit mad.
I don't agree, because I think it just comes down to the individual.
There are some people that are very sure of themselves. I actually know people that have wanted the same thing, but that's rare. Your experiences normally change you, and it changes the kind of things that you're looking for. It changes your perspective on the world, and that's going to change the kind of things that you want in your life. It's
can
not
agree
wrong
with
to
that.
like want certain things at a young age, but if you're the type of person that wants to settle down and get married, you have to like kind of understand that you're not going to be the same person you are in 7 years. Even at 27, the person I am today is not the person that I was when I'm 27, and the person I am today will not be the person I am in 5 years. What you want is constantly changing. Maybe it won't change too much in a partner. There will be slight alterations. He's 23 years old. He doesn't know what he wants. He just thinks he knows what he wants.
Yeah, I can agree with your point there, and I do understand it.
He's right. How you can't be in 20 serious relationships by the time you're 23. What is a serious relationship to you?
You can't, but being with someone for 2 years, you would have had some sort of experience to know what it's like to be in a relationship.
But you've dealt with one personality type for 2 years, right? If you've been in a relationship with like 5 or 6 people by the time you're like 30, then I'm like, okay, you've got a greater pool of people you've been with. You've probably got a better understanding. But he's 23 years old. He's a kid basically still.
Yeah.
And he is saying that he's been with in 20 serious relationships. He's obviously taking the piss. There's no way. Because SNEAKO strikes me as the kind of guy that is just running through girls, right? I doubt that he's been in more than one serious relationship. And I doubt that was even serious. I can't imagine him being fully committed to one woman, especially with the way he's talking. Do you believe anything that's coming out of his mouth?
No, not at all, to be totally honest with you.
You couldn't have been
What do you think a real relationship is? Like watching Netflix every night with your boo bear and like going on a picnic?
a real relationship is dealing with the ups and downs of life with a partner that you're committed to, not somebody that you meet Friday night to fuck.
Facts.
That's straight facts.
That's it. He put it the best way possible. Because that's true. With young love or in a relationships when you're younger, that's all it is. You just meet up, you chill out. You know what I mean? There's not much more to it. You might have little petty arguments here or there. But it's when you get older and life starts really happening to you that it's more of a partnership.
Relationships are tested when there are downs, right? And they're also tested when there's ups, because like say you get up and you get very rich, like a guy gets very rich, his pool of women just opened up exponentially, right?
Yeah.
The amount of women that he's going to be able to attract with his new car, his new look, or his new money is going to go up. And he's going to be tested. His faithfulness will be tested. Equally, when the man is down, we'll see how loyal the woman is to him when the chips are down. So relationships are tested in those moments. They're not tested when you walk into a club and bed a woman.
Yeah.
Because it's not hard. Imagine there's 500 people in the club, let's say. The chances of you getting laid, if you've got even mediocre game and you're halfway decent looking, are pretty good.
Yeah.
Even if it's not someone that you particularly want to sleep with. But there's nothing to be learned through that. It's a quick, meaningless exchange, and it's destiny speaking facts.
All right, keep talking.
I don't understand how you think you can live your lifestyle and flip a switch at 27 and all of a sudden be the type of man that you want to be for the type of woman you want to get. You're going to be dating Instagram models and fucking them your entire life. Or you're going to be like Andrew Tate. You're going to be 38 on a live stream bragging about being able to fuck 18-year-olds, and that's going to be the rest of your life. Let's look at conservatives, okay? Do you think if you had a daughter and a guy like you came up to that daughter, would you let your daughter date that guy?
Yeah, I'm a good guy.
That's cap.
Yeah, but every guy's gonna say that though, innit? He's not gonna admit it.
If I had a daughter, I wouldn't have let my daughter date 23-year-old me.
Yeah, but
absolutely not.
Guy, with this kid, you can just see the way his attitude is, and he's just not going to back down to anything. Do you know what I'm saying?
He's full of shit. This is the problem. I don't know
Pure
why
shit.
Destiny's wasting his time. He's exposing them. He is making them look stupid, but that's nonsense, man. You have to believe that. A better question would have been like, would you be okay with your mum dating somebody of a personality type like yours, with the way he's running through women and his views on women? You just wouldn't, because you care about those women.
So the concept of this is saying, like, if you're just spending your whole 20s doing what you're doing, you can't expect a flip to switch when you're 27 and just know what you're doing. So what is the overall conclusion to how you can get to that point? Is it you have to have multiple relationships in your 20s, or what do you need to be doing different?
You have to become the man that you want to be, right? The same with everything. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't gain muscles overnight. You don't gain intelligence or awareness on a particular subject overnight. You become that person over time. Through experiences, through hardships, through ups and downs, whatever it takes to become that person that you want to be. It doesn't just happen overnight. Destiny's right. If all you're doing is sleeping with Instagram models and then you get to 27 and you're like, right, I want a good church girl now. You're not going to have the tools that you need to provide for that woman emotionally the way she's going to need you to. You might have all the money in the world, but she's just going to go and sleep with someone else if you're not there emotionally. You can't just flip a switch like that. That's not how life works.
I get it, but it's just about what you're doing to become that.
But he's not doing anything. It's just he wants to sleep with Instagram models, and then when he hits 27, he wants to settle down. The same for a woman. If all you've been doing is slurping day in and day out, and then you want a husband, it's not gonna happen. You might get a husband, but it ain't gonna last, as we saw with Mia Khalifa. Like, it's just not gonna last. You need to become that person. If Mia Khalifa did porn, right, and then over the span of like 5 years, she'd been going to church, she'd been doing charity work, she had not been talking shit online, she had turned her life around, the chances of her getting a good man will go up exponentially. But if she goes straight from porn to talking shit and then expecting her to have a long-lasting relationship, it ain't gonna happen. You have to become the person that you want to be for that other person as well.
I still don't think that would have changed anything.
Maybe not in her case, but
Time he's 23, a guy that's looking for you would let that daughter date that guy. You're lying. You know you're lying.
I have to ask, SNEAKO, you would give your daughter to a man who has 19 other women?
If he was a good guy, yeah.
Really? No shot. That's the biggest code.
no one believes that. You would not hand your daughter over to a guy that's already got 19 girlfriends. Are you insane?
I don't even know why it's being discussed. It's just ridiculous.
This is absurd on so many levels.
Yeah.
This is absurd. This is my problem. People fall into their tribes. He's clearly like he's playing to an audience and he's not being honest.
Yeah.
There's no way. Would you do that to your mum? If your mum's man, can you imagine, your mum comes home with a new guy and it's Andrew Tate. I'd be like, fuck, what do I do? My mum needs to be the center of his attention. So if you feel like that for your mum, you have to extend that sentiment to other women. Like if you walked in with a guy that I knew had 19 other girls, I would pull you aside and be like, what in God's name are you doing?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You wouldn't do that to anyone that you even care about a little bit.
No shot. That's the biggest cope. There's no shot. You wouldn't let your daughter near that guy. Would you let your daughter date somebody like Andrew Tate? If your daughter was 18 and Andrew Tate came up to her and when he's 40 years old, would you let your daughter date that guy? You wouldn't.
I thought he was going to say yes for a second. I was waiting for it.
Because you're not going to answer that question honestly and say yes. You're just not.
Nah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, I've defended Andrew Tate on multiple things, and I've taken a stand against him on other things. But whether you're a fan of Andrew Tate or not, there's no way in your right mind that you would be happy to hand your daughter over to him.
But that right there is him knowing the correct answer is no, but him not wanting to say no.
Yeah.
Just for the sheer fact of the point that he's trying to get across and portray.
Yeah, this is tribalism again. This is the same shit that we give feminists for. They come up with stupid talking points and they back them even when they can hear the stupidity coming out of their mouth. And here we are. He's asked him a legit question and he won't even answer it. There's no way.
I want to see what he comes back with though, like if he even says anything.
Do you wear a seatbelt when you drive or do you not give a fuck with it?
I have this thing where you could put a seatbelt thing you could buy on Amazon. This is like advice for the chat. You can get like a seatbelt thing on Amazon that clicks in and then it gets rid of the beeping sound.
Okay, so you don't wear seatbelts either. Do you think seatbelts make you safer when you drive?
There's some circumstances where a seatbelt actually restricts you and traps you inside the car. You can see accidents.
There are some circumstances where somebody could
collision.
Yeah.
You get mad interrupting and now you're
Yeah, there are circumstances where.
Hold on. That's let him finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
You can get into a collision, and if you have a seatbelt on, then you can get trapped in the car, and the car can catch on fire. But sometimes, if you're not wearing a seatbelt, there's instances where people have literally flown out the windshield because they weren't wearing a seatbelt and they survived. But a seatbelt could trap you in there.
What do you think is more common? Do you understand statistics or probability?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's more common, but it's uncomfortable and it's just.
Do you lock your car? Do you lock your car at night?
Earlier, I caught a stray shot because I think you guys were talking and you were.
Hold on. This guy said he doesn't wear seatbelts. Do you know how ridiculous that is? He said that he gets something that plugs into the seatbelt part so it doesn't make the beeping sound so he doesn't have to wear it. And then he said, well, some people get trapped in their cars when they wear seatbelts. At this point, they should have turned the stream off. That is such a ridiculous thing to say. The number of lives that have been saved. I've been in, how many car crashes I've been in? I've been in 2 or 3 car crashes. If I was not wearing my seatbelt, I don't know if I would be, I don't think I would have died in them, but I definitely would have sustained heavy injuries. That is such a dumb thing to say. It's so dumb, you don't even know what to say.
No, I'm just wondering at what point I can tell you I don't wear my seatbelt.
Oh, for God's sake. You don't wear your seatbelt. Doesn't your car beep?
No, it's plugged in behind me.
Oh my days, Sabi. No. If I ever get in the car, you're wearing your seatbelt. That is ridiculous. That is so dangerous. Do you go on your phone in the car as well?
No, absolutely not. That's one thing I don't do. I will never touch my phone when driving.
We're halfway there at least.
I don't wear my seatbelt, but I'm a safe driver. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I bring the seatbelt behind me and plug it in, and I just never unplug it. So it's just there, and I just get in and I just drive.
Can I ask why you don't?
I used to be like you. I used to be one of them people that was just like, safety first, always have to wear my seatbelt, etc. And then I got to a point where the seatbelt was just really uncomfortable, and it like digs into my neck here like that, and I just feel restricted when I'm driving, and it's just uncomfortable, and I just don't like it. I just like to be free. I get it is dangerous, and I get it does save lives, and I should wear it. I know I should, but that's the only reasoning I have behind it, is just that it's uncomfortable, and I just prefer not wearing it.
You know that's selfish, right? What am I gonna do with this channel if you die?
I thought when you were saying it so much, I was thinking, but what's that going to do to someone else? Me not wearing my seatbelt.
But if you get hurt, what are you going to tell your family if they ask you what's happened?
What if I survived?
Yeah, well, no.
I will tell
if
them
you survived, then you're a vegetable, basically.
I wasn't wearing my seatbelt, and then I will live to tell the story to make sure other people wear their seatbelts.
So you want to be a martyr? You want to be a sacrificial lamb?
Absolutely not. Stop trying to talk this stuff into existence. Touch some wood right now.
You have to wear your seatbelt.
I don't have to do anything.
You have to wear your seatbelt, sadly. That
to.
is not on. Does your brother know you don't wear your seatbelt?
Everyone knows.
Oh my God.
Everyone cusses me out for it as well. Like when I get in the car with my nan, she's like, put your seatbelt on right now. But
if I get in the car with you, you're putting that seatbelt on.
No, but the problem is that, you know, it's illegal to not wear your seatbelt.
Yeah, I know.
Does that make me a criminal?
It means you've partaken in criminal activity.
Okay, so for legal reasons, I always drive with my seatbelt on. This is just for entertainment.
Oh my God. I'm going to have a chat after this video.
You guys were talking and you were like, I was telling Abba that I don't subscribe to the idea that everyone can be rich, but that anyone can be rich. Is that correct? So your estimation, SNEAKO, is not that everyone can be rich at the same time. It's that if someone tries, they can do it.
Anybody can be rich.
Okay,
yes, that's a very simple statement. That's true.
Fair. But you also recognize that's only for a minority of people that can be rich. It's not everyone that can be rich at the same time, correct?
Yeah, anybody can be rich.
Okay, perfect. So my question is, if you're doing this on these platforms and you're trying to spread the truth to as many people as possible, but you also acknowledge that not everyone who follows your advice can be rich at the same time, what do you say to the rest of the people who won't be able to have access to those resources?
That's tough.
That's tough. Okay, so for the vast majority of your audience, that's tough. But for the ones who worked hard enough and made it, well, they're the only ones who kind of get to be content and be men in that sense.
Yeah.
In that true sense.
Yes.
Okay. So you don't think that because you're leaving behind so many people that your philosophy is not good for the masses?
They don't have to be left behind.
You just told me they are, and you said that's tough.
They don't have to be left behind. They can still work and go get it. If you have an internet connection, you can be rich.
But you just said not everybody will be rich.
You just said
Not everybody will be.
I want you to hear yourself.
Everybody
I just want you to hear. You've just told me that not everyone can be rich at the same time. We both agree. Cool. I then asked you, what about the rest of the people who can't be? What do you say to them? And then afterwards, you told me that's tough.
That's tough. Well, so work harder. You can still get it. It's not too late. It's never too late.
Okay.
That's some goofy shit. What Abba is saying is 100% correct. Not everybody can be rich. That's not how our society is set up. Certain people excel and certain people will be at the bottom. Everyone should strive to be rich. Everyone should try to be successful, but not everyone is going to be. Not everyone can be an astronaut. Not everyone's going to be driving a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
There are going to be some people at the bottom. They're going to try their best and they're not going to get anywhere. But you should always try your best. You shouldn't quit. It doesn't mean that everybody's going to get to that point where they are rich.
It's not easy to get to a point of being rich. I'm 50-50 with it. I get your point, and I do think, yeah, it's just not going to be possible for some people. But I do at the same time believe that if you do work hard enough, potentially you can make it.
Potentially, that's the key word. Potentially you can make it. You should always work hard because there's always a chance that you could be the next big thing or you could become rich. But reality dictates that it won't work for everyone. If you have 100 people in a room, not all 100 people are going to be rich at the same thing. There will be failures and there's going to going to be winners and losers. That's just how life works. It's harsh to say, and might not be fair. Some people break their backs trying to get to the top and they never make it. So it's one thing to tell people you should always strive to go to the top, because you should. Like, I go to the gym a lot. I always strive to be in good shape. I'm never going to be the best looking guy in the room. Someone's always going to have a better body than me. But I should always strive to keep the fat off, stay trim.
That's with everything in life, though.
Yeah, you're never going to be the best at everything, right? And some people will not even be mediocre at anything. But you should always strive to get there. But he's saying everybody can get there. Everybody can't get there. That's not possible. Not with the way our society is set up. Right? We live in a capitalistic society, so it affords us the opportunity to try, but it does not mean that we're all going to have the same outcome. What are your thoughts on this whole thing with SNEAKO, specifically about giving his daughter to Andrew Tate?
I just think he's just chatting a lot of shit. Personally, I feel like it is that clout chasing sort of situation, and I don't feel like he actually believes everything he's saying himself. I think he's just doing it just to be funny, or, you know what I'm saying, just to portray a certain image. Do I think he's got the right mindset for a lot of things? No. But do I think that he understands the concept and right from wrong? Yes. Does he want to admit it? No.
I just think he's a troll and he knows how to get people's attention.
Yeah.
I didn't think he said anything that I agreed with there. You would not give your daughter over to somebody like yourself, nor would you give them over to Andrew Tate if he's got 19 other girlfriends. Why would you do that? Secondly, not everybody can get rich. Everybody has the capacity to work hard and get somewhere, but not everyone's going to get to the top.
You know what he was saying about the seatbelt thing, though? That in some cases that has been true.
Yeah, but the rate at which the rate of death that has occurred with seatbelt on versus seatbelt off.
Yeah, I get that.
Because of the statistics, you would wear your seatbelt.
Yeah.
Because you're more likely to survive if you crash.
Of course, yeah.
So what he was saying was nonsense.
Yeah.
It was silly. So all in all, SNEAKO just, in my opinion, made himself look silly in this argument. Destiny absolutely crushed him.
Yeah, he did. He conducted himself very well.